I think this will be an interesting discussion question. This was posted in the Millennials subreddit. She asked, "Do you regret having kids?" She says, "And if you don't have kids, is it something you want but feel like you can't have or has been an active choice? Why or why not? It would be nice if you state your age and when you had kids." When I was young, I used to picture myself being in my late 20s, having a wife and kids, house, dogs, job, everything. I really long for the time to come where I could have my own little family and could pass my knowledge to our kids. Now I'm 33 and that dream is entirely gone. After years of bad mental health and a bad start in life, I feel like I'm 10 to 15 years behind my peers. Part time, low pay job, broke, single, barely any social network, aging parents that need me, rising costs. I'm a woman, so pregnancy would cost a lot, and my biological clock is ticking. I just feel like what I want is unachievable. I guess I'm just wondering if I manage to sort everything out. If having a kid would be worth all the extra work and financial strain it could cause. Because the past few years, I feel like I've stopped believing all this talk in the news and politics about the child free ladies and the childless cat ladies and everything, people do not understand that, women, people in this age range are having a hard time economically. Even if this person were to find a suitable partner, this person 33 has already kind of given up because of a low paying job. The cost of living in this country, even for a single person, is too high. And we have been talking about the fact that this country is an aging population, so many adult children are having to take care of their elderly parents. So when these legislators, these politicians are talking about, we need to have kids or whatever, they're not looking at what is going on within the households and why people that are prime age are opting out or cannot have kids. So sometimes I am an elder millennial and sometimes I'm a young Gen X. I was born in 1980. I had my kids at 33 and 36. They were an active choice. We did it on our own with no support system because we did not live near anybody that could do anything to help us. So me and my husband were pretty much the only people that were watching our kids, no babysitters or anything. Childcare was expensive. So literally when I left the workforce to have the babies, I stayed out because childcare is way too expensive and it wouldn't have made sense to go to work simply to pay for childcare. So I became a stay-at-home mom, not necessarily because that was the plan, but just because the cost of childcare was too much to even make sense. I know 4B is a movement and the child free movement is definitely a movement, but there are some people that do want to have babies if they do have a financial foundation and a suitable partner. But things are just not really clicking in our country and our society. I do want to look at some of these comments. Penosaur says, "Regret, no, but there are days where you ask yourself, why did I sign up for this? Objectively, life would have been much easier and less stressful without them, but there's no way I would go back." Forgot to add, I'm 38 and didn't have my first until 35. Second one just this year, so no, it's not too late for you, albeit much harder as I can feel myself struggling to keep up. Responsible ad says, "Thanks for putting it up nicely. At any point in time, a person can feel multiple emotions at once, all valid. It can be joy, but stressed by the sheer amount of work. It can be glad for bringing up a child, and also anxieties for the future and about finances. All emotions can coexist, and all are valid. It can't just be one dimensional. I regret or I do not regret." I am child free, 42-year-old woman. It has made my life easier in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to autonomy, free time, and finances, but hard in others. I find it hard to socialize by default, like how many other mothers do because of common kids' activities. Many times I feel like a teenager in an adult body because of not having many challenges. My friends with kids are chill about many challenges. It's still easier, I'm sorry, it's still an easier life than bringing up kids, but without the hardship. Winnowing wins seized on this part. I find it hard to socialize by default, like how other mothers do because of common kids' activities. She says, I agree with this. Your second point is interesting, as I have definitely felt a little bit like that. I wouldn't say it's really about not having challenges. I definitely have, but I'm also single and don't own a home. And I feel like that precludes me from a lot of adult conversations. To be honest, a lot of adults these days can't afford a house with the rising costs, the fact that many of us have student loans, and it's just like it's unattainable, it seems, the way that the home prices have just soared. So I think that we are being priced out of many adult milestones. Brilliant Location says, if it makes you feel any better, more than ever, people are choosing to be single and child free. Me and my husband are child free. We have a bunch of friends who are also child free, and we plan many activities together. Look for social groups, especially on Facebook. I'm sure you can connect with many single people and do fun activities together. Times are a lot better now than before, and single, child free people are no longer marginalized. It gets tough to hang out with friends who have kids, but it helps to make new friends who are in the same boat as you. Because of my experience, it's easy to get distanced from friends after they become parents, as most of them, as you mentioned, involve activities involving children. Chaos at Night says, I'm child free, but find it difficult to be part of those groups. It seems like many child free people actively hate kids and mock parents. Me being child free has very little to do with children themselves. In fact, I love children, so I cannot relate to many of them. And that is true. A lot of times people make their marital status or their parental status their personality, and they lean into it and then demonize the people on the other side. I am a wife and mother. That is not my personality. I get along perfectly fine with single people and people that have chosen not to have kids and people that just don't have kids simply because of circumstances. You don't have to be an a hole because of the choices you've made or the circumstances of your life. You don't have to be an a hole because of it. Salamander West says, I agree with this. It's always hurt my heart a bit because of a hatred of children isn't why I don't have them. Also, I don't drink and have found a lot of child free adults love to party and drink a lot. Would love to find my tribe out there, but it's hard. Star Leopard says, I'm in my 30s and make friends aged 20s to 50s outside party scenes by prioritizing creative scenes, concerts, open mics, poetry, music, and fitness, recreational sports, fitness classes, dance, aerial, pole. My city also has a flourishing Burning Man scene, which I'm part of. And there are plenty of people there that aren't just there to party, but really align with creative expression, having fun, dancing, enjoying music, but who go out regularly sober or keep things to a very moderate level, and we have a blast. Just take some time, take some being willing to sift through the folks who are there to party until you find the right folks. And yes, you do have to put in some effort. You don't just go some place and then, aha, you found your tribe. You actually have to build a relationship with people. People are so used to like things just coming easy and they're not willing to put in the work. So this is the last screenshot I want to share. Bacon Hammer Time says, I'm on the other side of things, 38 with no kids. I would give up the freedom I have in a heartbeat to have a family to raise. This just goes to show that people do want to have kids. It's just that right now it's just hard for folks. I do want to say right here, honestly, a breath of fresh air on Reddit. So many kids suck, and I'm going to enjoy being a rich dink forever. Suck it, losers. And that really is how some people act. They really like to demonize folks for having kids. And you can be a dink, you can be child free without being an a hole to the parents that decided to have kids. Like Lackme says, I think less hubris and judgment around reproductive choice, one way or another, would be nice. I agree and wanted to end it on that note. You don't have to be an a hole or a judgmental prick because of your choices. Anyways, join the conversation. Do you regret having kids? Do you have them? Do you not? Join the conversation, like, comment, and share.
So I was sent this post from the anxiety memes subreddit. She titled it, "Got verbally abused by a popular psychologist on social media." And I do want to remind us all that anybody can be anything they want to be on the internet without knowing their credentials. You don't necessarily know if they are actually licensed anywhere. So I'm just putting that out there. The caption at the bottom says, "So I sent a reply to this person's Instagram story about someone commenting on how their charge is high. It's about 550 pounds per hour. And this is the reply I received. My opinion could be wrong, but getting verbally abused from my psychologist feels ironic. The people who can't even take a different opinion are acting gurus on social media. Maybe she meant acting like gurus on social media. Imagine someone receiving such a message while going through their worst phase." All right, let's see the message. Like she said, she was responding to whatever this post is. And she says, "Sorry, but I agree with that girl, especially when it comes to a profession like yours. Just giving my opinion. But yeah, ultimately, it's your decision." And this supposed psychologist says, "Because you're a brokey and entitled." So I asked somebody who gives endless free advice and is incredibly popular online to lower my prices so broke people like yourself can endlessly book me and I have no time off. You're a broke tramp. Go stick to somebody on your level, entitled, ungrateful, and broke. Stop taking things for free and then expecting more discount. You absolutely tramp. Lord, that's mean and grammatically incorrect. You absolutely tramp. That's a terrible, terrible sentence. And then the lady in purple says, "You don't speak like you do on your videos. There was no need to be angry or disrespectful. I never said it should be free, but I felt 550 pounds for an hour session is too much. But again, it's your life, your profession. I just shared an opinion. This wasn't about you, but about mental health in general. Health issues don't care whether you're rich or broke. And verbally abusing someone like this isn't apt for a psychologist, Sadia." And Sadia says, and her name is Sadia Khan, she says, "It's too much for you because you're a cheap and entitled tramp. It's not a progression that is for free." As maybe she meant profession. Especially when I'm viral on the internet. So I should be a charity case for people like you. Get out of here. You do nothing for free for others and because you're cheap and want high quality for cheap. So doctors should be cheap for tramps like you. Why she keep calling this woman a tramp? This is terrible. Who does this? And the crazy thing is, you have got to remember that everybody can take a screenshot and post stuff on the internet. If you are in any kind of professional capacity, you have got to recognize that social media is there and people do share these things. This is completely unprofessional, and she should have just ignored the comment. Don't do this. Keep in mind that you can go viral at any time because somebody like me can pick up a story and make a video on it. All right, so I already told you what the caption was. This woman, she was responding to an Instagram story about how this charge was too high. So, some of the comments. Catherine says, "It's disheartening when those who claim to offer support end up adding to the struggle." And OK Aoli says, "Her videos are like an introduction from BetterHelp. It's a joke." CC Dude says, "It's an unfortunate reality that there are a select few who just wanted to sound like the smart one online. It's not about helping people, but looking like the hero by offering generic milquetoast advice you'll find at a $3 self-help book at the grocery store. The degree is just there for decoration. That said, yeah, mental health services are ridiculously expensive, and it's not the doctor's fault as directly. We just don't have the structures in place for them to practice the same way we do, even general practices everywhere they need to be." High Hunter says, "The fact that setting healthy boundaries is step 9 out of 10 makes it a no for me." Obvious Throwaway says, "Yeah, she just doesn't seem professional at all." Dancing the trauma away says, my local police department provides me free therapy because I was abused. So seeing things like this is triggering to me, to want to self sabotage and punish myself. Like, oh, she's right. I don't deserve help because I can't pay for it. So effed up. Undead Wolf says, nah, 100% you deserve help. If anyone should have to pay for it, it should be your abuser. This lady is the entitled one, expecting 550 pounds for an hour session just because she's viral on the internet. So I'll end it with this screenshot. OK says, if she were a fully licensed psychologist registered with a regulatory body, you could definitely report her and should. However, from her webpage, she describes herself as a coach, what makes me think she's not a fully licensed psychologist. And though she does have a master's and some certificates, most places now require a PhD or equivalent. Very stringent requirements to qualify as a psychotherapist. There's been a push to regulate coaches, but currently it's pretty much the wild, wild west, with many people going rogue with their claims of expertise and with people's mental health and ruining it for those coaches who are legitimate. Okay, exactly. That's the reason why I said in the beginning, anybody can be anything on the internet, especially if it's an uncredentialed profession. So take everything with a grain of salt. And like Virus at the bottom says, right, I don't trust coaches at all, specifically social media coaches. They really don't seem to know what they're doing. They just they just know what you want to hear. Exactly. They know where the tides are going. And sometimes people tell them what they want to hear. So it's like, cool, you become a mirror. If you are a good coach, you can become a mirror because these people are telling you what they want to hear. Anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Remember, this is the internet. Anybody can be what they want to be. So keep that in mind as you are navigating these social media streets. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.